Listen, welcome to Into the Deep. This your boy Raheem. I am excited for you to join us on another episode. Listen, if you watched the last episode, listen to the last episode, which I really believe you did because you really fooled with me in real life, you would have heard when we dealt with it's okay to say no. And some of us really struggle with that. Go back and listen to it, and I identify reasons why we don't like saying no. Today, my brother is in the studio with us, and I believe that this man has mastered the word no. If you was to look up the definition on no, you will see his face. Even to the point sometimes I'll be mad. 'Cause I'm like, you didn't even let me finish the statement. You just said no. So we want to hear from him today. I want you all to give him the best love that you can. And let's welcome to this podcast my brother, Justin Bernard Rashard Rowland. And I want you all to celebrate because he's here with us. Come on. I'm excited. Welcome to the podcast.
Thank you so much for having me today. I feel the love. I feel all the support. Glad to be here and glad to talk about my favorite word my favorite sentence,
Which is,
N-O. No.
why is that your favorite?
Oh, it's liberating. Oh, it makes me feel free.
Just say no.
Ask me a question.
Are you
No.
going? Okay.
No, I'm not. I'm not going to do that. No, ask me another one.
Can we?
No, I can't. Not. Thanks, though.
Do you
There's
want?
other words I put in front of it sometimes.
Like,
I'm not going to say it,
okay.
but just know that the no is at the end.
The no is at the end. So I have a question. You never feel guilty or sad when you tell somebody no?
No, I do not feel guilty. No, seriously. I feel guilty sometimes, especially people who are in need, but I just can't help them at that time. Saying no does make me feel bad, but you have to understand that the word no in a relationship, in a friendship, in a partnership, in any type of shit, whether it's platonic or romantic, when you say no, it's really honoring the relationship because you know what you're able to take on and what you're not able to take on. And so that other person will know as well what you're able to take on and what you're not.
My question is, what are some underlying difficulties that people have saying no?
Some people feel uncomfortable. They feel some discomfort. Some people feel rejected and set apart. Some people feel that it may be a cultural thing. You know, some cultures saying no is easier because they believe in sacrificing themselves and their time over what they really need.
Now, I believe that's good. So can we say that sometimes people may have a hard time saying no because they fail to create or set boundaries?
Yes, people do it all the time. People don't create boundaries. And I think when you fail to create boundaries in the beginning, it's going to be hard later on to say no. If at first you're always saying yes to everything, and you're not saying, okay, let me pause, let me stop. What can I actually do without overextending myself? If you don't create those boundaries in the beginning, it's definitely going to be harder later on in any type of relationship to kind of say no.
So my question, and I'm going to say this for the people in the balcony, what are some potential consequences of constantly, always, nonstop saying yes when really you want to say no?
Your peace is going to be taken away from you. Your joy is going to be ended, destroyed. You have to say no.
You said that very firmly.
I did say that very firmly because saying no has brought me a lot of peace that passes all understanding.
My God, that was your little Bible.
Oh, that was good scripture. That was biblical right there. Y'all better say no. But some consequences, of course, it could make you overwhelmed. It could you can overextend yourself, overexert yourself. You may not have the time, but then you push and try to overbook yourself just so you can keep these obligations that you said weeks ago, months ago, years ago that you said you was going to do. And so there's a lot of consequences that come with always saying yes. And so you have to make sure that you do create those boundaries to say no so that you do not overextend yourself or become overwhelmed.
So how do you say no or communicate the word no in an assertive, compassionate way while maintaining the honor in the relationship with someone?
So there's one thing that I do that a lot of people in this generation do not like, and that is to be very direct. If you are very direct, it ceases all doubt. So be direct. You also have to make sure that you're saying the right thing and make sure that the person know that you hear them and you understand their needs. But right now at this point, you're not the person, or you cannot be put in that situation to be able to help them with whatever their need.
Can you give us some examples on how you tell people no?
Yes, I could give you a bunch of examples of how.
Just a few.
Just a few.
Just a few.
You don't want a list.
No,
I could give you a book.
A few. A few.
All right.
3.
Okay. All right. So earlier there was one lady that said, this bacon donut look good. Can I have it? I said, no, that's mine.
You felt good about it.
I felt great.
So someone earlier, one of my spiritual grandchildren, took my Oreo donut. And she was eating that donut like it was no tomorrow. Now, how bad I really wanted that donut. To see the smile on her face, I took that loss. I'm like, okay, cool. I should have just said no.
Should have definitely said no. It was your Oreo donut.
But the joy that she had on her face.
But what about your face? What about the joy on your face and in your heart?
Correct, because I did have a moment.
What about that donut, that Oreo that you consume?
Wow.
And it makes you feel great. That sugar gives you energy.
It do.
That bread holds you down.
It holds me.
My God, today.
Oh, glory.
And by saying yes, look at you, weak and frail.
Weak, frail, and hungry.
You got to do better, man.
So what's another way you say no?
So, there's a few ways. There's some examples I can give you.
What's an example?
As a Christian man.
As a Christian.
Because we need some Christian ways to say no.
Right.
And so you can say, no, God has not given me the bandwidth at this moment to complete this assignment.
Wow.
Or my personal favorite, God has given me new wineskins, so my answer is going to be no right now.
Wow.
Yeah.
And you leave it like that?
I leave it like that.
Listen, for the sake of time, I got another question for you. In what ways does society, or culture influence our ability to set boundaries and to say no?
So a lot of ways, social media, in my opinion, over the years have become very selfish. And so I see people all day long saying no. We're all on social media. And so over the years, we get used to seeing this over and over again. But I want to encourage someone and say that don't say no out of selfishness, but say no in honor and out of selflessness, because you're able to help this person understand, or your friend understand, your wife to understand, your husband to understand, your pastor to understand, your cousin, uncle, whoever it is to understand. Right now is just not the time. And so when it comes to the society, we need to really realize that creating those boundaries is a good thing. It's a positive word. It should have a positive outlook on it. It should have a positive perspective, because saying no can guide you. Saying no can cover you. Saying no can lead you in other directions.
And saying no is a complete sentence.
It's a complete sentence. Saying no will open up doors to different strategies to be able to complete what you need to do in life. And so I want to reframe that word and say that no is a complete sentence, but no is also a positive word.
Wow. Listen, you heard it here. Into the deep. It's okay to say no. But watch this. It's a complete sentence. I want you to join us next week when we deal with the consequences of always saying yes. I want to deal with that 3-letter word, IES. I want you all to like, share, and subscribe. And I want you to tell somebody, Into the Deep, that's the place where it's happening. So we want to continue to create an environment and a culture that you begin to listen and hear what God has to say, because this is life and Bible. So we want you all to join us next time. But until then, I'm your boy Raheem, and I promise you, we're getting ready to go deep into life and get healed and delivered. I'll catch you next week. Talk to you soon.